Let's get this party started. First of all, thank you so much for being here. My name's Dana Andrews, and I'm the immediate past president of USTA Florida. I'm still a board member. They haven't gotten rid of me yet. But on behalf of USTA Florida, I want to welcome everyone to our 4th regional celebration this year. As some of you may know, and if you don't, you're going to hear a lot about it, this is our 75th anniversary for USTA Florida. Thank you, thank you. And I do have a couple people to acknowledge, and I know Terry's going to introduce Mal's board, but we have from our USTA Florida board their incoming members, which, hey, what a great way to introduce them to our board. You get to come to a nice lunch, meet some people. But that is Jane Wall and Lizita Davis, who's already helped with budget and finance, I understand. We also have Harold Thomas, who is a former City of Jacksonville director of tennis. We have Tom Bellickson, I got to meet him today, and Colin Dibley. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. But as I said, this is our 75th anniversary, and probably a year to 2 years ago, we started thinking, how are we going to do this? Are we going to do that big black tie thing? Maybe not. And so what we chose was to come out to the tennis communities throughout the state in different ways. And so, as I said, this is our 4th regional celebration. To give you a little bit of background, the first one we did was down in Vero Beach at a public facility called Riverside Park. And we now manage that facility, USTA Florida does. But it also happens to be the park where Marty Fish grew up and played. And you may remember him from his professional tour and play. And Marty actually grew up across the street from the park. We were able to dedicate a court to him, induct him into our Hall of Fame, and really talk about what a great job, very similar to Mal, of what he's doing off the court since he stopped his professional career. And so that was, just a great way to kick off the year. The next stop was in Miami, where Mary Jo Fernandez came and shared her tennis journey, and more importantly, what Florida tennis had meant to her. And then the next stop was Orlando. And in Orlando, we really took the time to applaud our volunteers and our organization and gave out some awards to people who are so dedicated to growing this game and sharing this game with everyone, knowing that it can change someone's life. And so now here we are for the 4th regional celebration. What we also had as part of our 75th anniversary, what was called the Florida Tennis Trail. And the MaliVai Washington Youth Foundation is on that tennis trail. And that was looking at particular facilities throughout the state that not only are delivering the game of tennis and the programming, but also having an impact on their communities. So that is what really brought us here today for the MaliVai Washington Foundation. Now, why am I here? Well, I'm here because I'm actually originally from Jacksonville. I now live in Tampa, so I can tell you this will end on time. I've got a few sandbags to put out. But I grew up playing in a public facility, Boone Park. Actually had an opportunity to play with Pam Paul at that facility, which I didn't know they were going to be here today, and so great to see them. Again, that's part of the tennis ecosystem, that, that's the way the two of us met. And in terms of Jacksonville itself, again, it's my hometown. My dad still is here. He lives in a memory center here. He very much loves hearing about what's happening in the tennis world, and especially what's happening with USTA Florida. But I'm sure, like all of you, you probably have one, maybe two, maybe several stories to share of how you know Mal and how Mal came into your life. Well, I don't know if Mal will remember this story, but this is actually, I think, the first time I met him. My dad like I said, has dementia, and he had it for several years, but was still living at home. And so he and I had gone out to Timuquana Country Club, and it happened to be the weekend of the Wimbledon finals. And at the time, Timuquana was doing a fundraiser for Mal's foundation. And my dad and I happened to be by the pool having lunch, and my dad, dementia or not, was in his tennis clothes. And the pro from Timuquana saw me sitting there with my dad. I can't look at Mal. And the pro came over and said, "Hey, Dana, would your dad like to come and hit with Mal?" And what they had done was taken this big, lovely grass lawn and turned it into a grass tennis court for Wimbledon. And so all the tennis community from the club was out there up in the breezeway, and I walk out, introduce myself to Mal, introduce him to my dad, and the two of them then hit on that court. And Mal could not have been any more engaging, any kinder, like he had all the time in the world. And trust me, my dad would have stayed out there all day. Dementia did not take away his memory of tennis. And that was the first time that I remember meeting Mal. And again, that lets you know, I'm sure all of you have a million stories, but for me, that's my one personal story. And the USTA Florida, with this foundation, we've had a wonderful partnership for years. I want to say, I believe maybe since the beginning, but it's been an amazing partnership, and we continue to give, and Mal continues to give back, and Terry, and so we look forward to continuing that into the future. Now, in terms of Mal, we do need to talk about Mal. As you may know, Mal spent about 10 years on the Pro Tour. I do have a couple facts here. He got to 11th in the world, represented our country, represented our country in the Davis Cup on 3 different teams, and also in the 1996 Olympics, and also made the finals of Wimbledon. And thank goodness for Tampa, that after he retired, he continued to make Jacksonville his home. And aren't we blessed that he is here? I mean, it's amazing that we've gotten this gift. Calm down back there. It's like I have elephants or something. Now, what I've read some about the foundation is that it was through the encouragement of Mal's dad to start the foundation, and that it started in 1996. And also, wisely, early on, he reached out to his good friend Terry Florio to help come and help them create this vision together. And one thing that actually our executive director shared with me when we were talking about this foundation, and the words were that the foundation has and continues to make a sustainable change to the underserved community in this city. And I think about, when you think about sustainable, a lot of people do come and go and give money to certain things, but to sustain it the way Mal and his leadership team have done, that's truly making a difference. And so that statement actually that Laura had shared with me when we were talking about this event definitely stuck with me. Now, some fun facts about the foundation is that it initially started with working with the Boys and Girls Club, that they help over close to 500 children a year. Amazing. And then another statistic, 100% graduation rate for kids who stay in this program. Unheard of. And of course, we know Mal's background in tennis, and certainly you can see these courts here, but this foundation is about a lot more than teaching a child how to hit a yellow ball. And what you read about the foundation and what I've heard from some of the testimonials at the galas is hard work, discipline, a positive attitude, the educational portion of this foundation is amazing. And another thing that I really loved that I could tell Mal was passionate about was the financial education that he wants to give the children who pass through these halls. I mean, our school systems could do a lot better with that. And that he felt the drive to want to bring that to this foundation, again, really stood out to me. And when I read about Mal's parents and his grandparents who overcame an oppressive environment, and they instilled in their children the importance of education, equality, hard work, self-reliance, and it made me understand that this youth foundation and its environment is built on the foundation that was passed on to him through generations. Mal, I just want to thank you for being an amazing example to the kids that pass through these hallways, and that through your example, you're giving them hope to aspire to what they can be. Now it's my pleasure to introduce a good friend of mine, Terry Florio, to come up and share some more words about the foundation, and also have some who have participated give you some insight into what this foundation has meant to them.
Thank you all. I was asked to, I'd like to just recognize a couple of people real quickly. First, our board chair, Irene Wolf, who's sitting up front. If you guys if any of our board or former board is here, can you guys just raise your hand and wave? Board members, former board members, thank you all for your service. There's too many people here. Every single person here has had an impact on this foundation. Every single person here has been involved with it in one way or another. And so there's too many people to recognize the VIPs, because every single person here is a VIP in our eyes. So we'd like to thank you all for taking the time to come out and celebrate the foundation with us today. Of course, the most important all the time, front and center, are our kids. They're quite happy to be out of school 2 hours early, I'm assuming, and Maddie's got her thumbs up sign for me there. So they are all excited to be here today, and what I would like to do, including our former I got one more group to ask. If you look over here in this group here, we have our very first full-time tennis coach, Devin Reddick. You want to just stand up or wave, Devin? And he came to us through Coach Thomas over here, who has been involved with us since the very, very beginning, and our very first student, and then second full-time head tennis pro, who is now the head women's coach at EWC, Mark Atkinson. Can't forget those guys, because without them, our kids would not be here, would not be the good tennis players that they are. So this group that's sitting here is our competitive tennis group. It's a group of about, there's a group of about 36, but these are the ones that go to school right down the street, so it was easy to get them out of school early. Caleb, would you come on up here real quick? Caleb Owens is our last year 2023 Student Athlete of the Year. He's home on a 3-day break from Morehouse, where he walked on the team, and I'm just going to have him very quickly say a couple of words about what the foundation has done for him, and more importantly, what Mal has done.
How y'all doing? The program and Mr. Mal, how he has impacted my life, not only on the tennis court, but educationally. He has helped me financially by teaching me different things like real estate, how to manage my money, and different things as that. And then on the tennis court, he loves to hit on my backhand, but I would say my backhand, my serve, and just all the different strokes. He's helped me through that. And the program has been definitely a help to me. First coming here in my 7th grade year, I didn't really have like a goal to play college tennis. So going through the program, since I've grown tennis-wise, it's helped me tennis oh my God, I'm stuttering, I'm sorry. But it's helped me achieve my goal of playing college tennis.
Next up, just a few months ago when Harold Thomas retired from the city of Jacksonville after 37 years, we established a scholarship award in his honor. It's the Harold Thomas MVP Award. The very first recipient of that award, Sanaya Jenkins. Get right up in the microphone. Something about what the foundation or Mal has taught you. What you told me, confidence.
This foundation has helped me in my career and learn what I want to do in life. Growing up, I want to be a tennis player because it helps me get confident, and it helped me and my mother out when I grew up. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And in all their defense, I just told them that as they got here that they were speaking today. Finally, our Student Athlete of the Year for 2024 is going to come up and say a few words about something Mr. Mal has taught him or the foundation has taught him, and that is Cameron Neal.
I would like to thank Mr. Mal because he's helped me, like, I'll say educationally, and also like on the tennis court. He's the reason that I'm doing tennis today. And also, wait, hold on. Also, hold on. My bad. Hold on.
Take your time. Something you learned
Tell
from
them
him?
about Waffle House.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. And also, I'm glad that we also go to Waffle House some Sundays. And sometimes he always tells me he learns stuff every day, every time we go to Waffle House for me. But I don't think that's really true because it's probably the stuff that I say. He probably already knows that. But yeah, I'm very much grateful for what he has done for us today. And also, I'm grateful that I'm able to play tennis the way I am today.
For those of you coming to the gala, this was a warm-up for Cam. He'll be speaking before about 400 people at the gala, but he'll have a prepared speech that time. And I think I turn it back over to Dana.
I'm back. What some of you may not know is that I'm a volunteer for USTA Florida, and my other job is as a lawyer. And I have to say, some of the time I can tell a good lie with a straight face, and that might be one of these days, because we're not here just as the 4th regional celebration for our 75th anniversary. We are here to induct MaliVai Washington into the Florida Tennis Hall of Fame. So we're going to start off by letting you view Mal's Hall of Fame video.
I always felt like Mal went about his business as a professional athlete in a way that matched his personal values. He had a tremendous work ethic, an easy guy to like, an easy guy to enjoy being around, but also an easy guy to emulate in order to pursue a dream of being as good of a tennis player as possible.
When I moved here to Northeast Florida when I was 20 years old, my goal was to play professional tennis. And at one point, my dad said, you know, maybe we should start a foundation So we actually started the MaliVai Washington Foundation in 1994. It wasn't until 1997 when I was towards the end of my career, and I was actually talking to a friend of mine, Terry Florio. And so we started a little partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, just providing tennis programs. And we quickly realized there's so much more we could be doing beyond the sport of tennis.
As of today, our after-school program has almost 230 kids. And then we do another 250 in summer camp.
I could not have imagined when I was 20 years old moving to Jacksonville, Florida, that 28 years later, the foundation would still be thriving.
Mal has given a number of young people the opportunity, the access to play a game that isn't necessarily an inner city game. It's a game that really gives kids an opportunity to practice discipline, to learn structure, to learn about losing, to learn about winning. These are the lessons of life.
Today, we have students in our program who are second generation, meaning one of their parents was a student in the foundation, and now that parent is an adult who has kids in the foundation. That is one of the goals of the foundation is, can we be that generational impact on a community?
You know, Mal, I'd like to say to you, you really have been a paragon of such excellence in our community. MaliVai Washington Youth Foundation has touched so many lives. You have been an example to all of us and to so many kids.
Mal, you've done amazing work to pass along the good fortune that we grew up with and try to improve the lives of children. You're a beacon in the community of Jacksonville and frankly within the tennis community.
Thank you. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for your dedication of your decades. Thank you for your friendship. Just thank you for being you.
Mal, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you and your entire team for the tireless work.
Thank you for everything that you do for not just our sport, but for the community and for the children.
MaliVai, congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction.
So, USTA Florida is proud to officially induct Mal Washington into our USTA Florida Hall of Fame for his dedication and service to Florida tennis. You are so deserving, not just for your achievements on the court, but all you have done through the foundation, literally changing lives and generations. So please come accept your award.
It looks like me, doesn't it?
Do you want to say this?
Dana, thank you so much. That is tremendous. I'm truly surprised because I was not expecting that. I had no idea. I was wondering why my wife and my son walked in today, because I didn't tell them about today. But this is very, very special from the USTA Florida section. So Dana, thank you. Laura, thank you. Everything we've done here at the foundation for so many years has been all about the kids and doing everything we can, and these young people, 2 young adults on the end there, and all these young people. Everything we've done is trying to help them realize their full potential through our programs, and I want all of you to know that you are a part of that. I get a lot of recognition. My name's on signage around the city or around our campus here, but every single one of you who have ever volunteered for an hour or donated $1 or encouraged a kid, you are a part of this success story of the foundation. That was pretty cool to see Kathy and Jim and Todd, and did I miss anyone else who was speaking up there? I wasn't expecting that either, but that's special because Jim, I played Davis Cup with him. Got my Davis Cup captain and my Olympic captain here today, so it's special to have you here. But there's so many as I look around, some of you have been a part of the foundation literally for the 28 years we have been here. Carol has volunteered for probably 28 of those 28 years. So Carol, thank you for that. And our board members and thank you to all of our staff back there who make it happen every single day. There's this joke that I always have. I love what we do here at the foundation, and I am passionate about what we do here. I would never want to work for my own foundation. In part because I would never want to work for Terry. No, but seriously, I see where the rubber hits the road with our staff members, and I see the grind that they put in every single day on the tennis court or in the classroom with discipline or just the back office stuff. I see that. I get to come here to the foundation. I joke with the kids a little bit, give them a couple words of encouragement. Maybe I'll hit a couple of tennis balls. I'll go into one of the classrooms, but then I get to go home after 2 hours if I want. And our staff is here day after day, week after week, hour after hour after hour, putting the time in. So if you wouldn't mind, to all of our staff, can you give them a big round of applause? And certainly, if you wanted to, wherever my name is around the foundation, you could also put /Terry Florio, because that's how long Terry has been around. And I'll give you a little 20-second version. Some of the ideas around programming here in Jacksonville started with an email. I had an AOL address back in the day, if you remember that. I sent Terry an email. I was in Paris. She was here in the States. And I said, I have this foundation. We don't do anything in Jacksonville. I'd love to try to do something with kids in tennis. You know what she does? Literally, the next morning, this is Terry. The next morning, there is an 8-page fax under the door at my hotel in Paris with stuff we could do, how we could start it, who we could partner with to create what you see now as the MaliVai Washington Youth Foundation. I wish I still had that fax. But I think I left it in the hotel in Paris because I was like, yeah, that's too big. I don't know if we could ever do that. But literally within 12 months of that fax, we were having our first golf and tennis gala that some of you were at back in 1997. And here we are in 2024, still running programs. So to honor everything that you have ever done for the foundation, any dollars you've donated or hours you've spent, we are trying to set up ourselves as an organization, as a foundation, and financially to last for generations to come. So long after, when I am 6 feet under looking up, or hopefully I'm up there looking, down, the goal, our collective goal is to have our programs still running right here in the 32209 zip code. So any single one of you, any of our board members, staff members, volunteers, if you ever drive by here, I want you to be proud and say, I was a part of that. I was a part of building that. And the USTA Florida section, you have been instrumental in the construction and the growth of our foundation, whether it was this building here, our teen center across the street, or any program that we've ever done. You've always been right there, side by side with us, encouraging us, supporting us. And so to USTA Florida section, thank you for everything you've done, not just for us, but what you've done throughout the state of Florida and growing the game with adaptive athletes and wheelchair athletes and trying to grow the game in every single corner of Florida. To that, all of you deserve a round of applause. Thank you. That's all I got.
Well, I've got some questions.
So we can go there?
Yeah. Is this already on? Oh, yeah.
Take this guy right here.
Okay, y'all know I'm not technical. Is it on?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. All right, we just wanted to have a little Q&A with Mal, and thank you for sharing with us what the foundation has meant to you. First one is, Florida is one of the most diverse USTA sections in the country, and you've contributed greatly to opening up the sport to the underserved and underrepresented individuals. What does it mean to be a trailblazer in inclusivity and living tennis for all?
Well, it's two words that I've been described as on the video as paragon. I wasn't even sure if I knew that word. Trailblazer, I don't know that anyone has ever looked at me as a trailblazer, but for me, having the love of tennis, the greatest sport in the world, and being able to share the sport with a community and a group of kids who otherwise wouldn't be in the sport, to me that is very special. Football is great, basketball is great, but for me there is something about going out onto the tennis court and one-on-one or two-on-two and just competing against someone. Now when I'm competing, I just make sure that I'm competing against people I know I can beat. Like Sanaya. I know I can beat Sanaya. Yeah, I know I can beat Cam.
Right.
Yeah. Caleb, for sure. I know I can beat Caleb. So that's who I like to.
Sportsmanship all the way.
But Dana, let me just say, it's special knowing that you've introduced a sport to kids at times who said, tennis? Well, we don't play tennis. Why would I play tennis? And then it's pretty special when a young person grows to love the game and they want to take it up. Mark started playing tennis in this foundation, and now he's the head women's tennis coach at University, or Edward Waters University. That's pretty darn cool.
No.
Caleb and Marisha over here started playing tennis in the foundation, and now Marisha, she's a UNF grad, and Caleb is in his freshman year at Morehouse. To me, that I got like goosebumps right there.
No,
to me, that gives me goosebumps, and I love it when that happens.
No. And it is. I know it sounds corny, kids, but it is a sport for a lifetime. My dad played, well, when he was hitting with Mal, he was probably 85, 86. So you don't need a whole football team or basketball team to go out and play tennis.
And I do remember hitting with your dad, and if I recall correctly, because we were out at Timaquana, I was giving, and it didn't matter how old he was, I was giving him grief about his footwork. I was like, you got to pick up your feet if you're going to be out here on the tennis court for me. He had good hands, but we were working on his footwork, as I recall.
And dementia or not, or age or not, that was always an issue with him that I knew when I played him on Saturday mornings. So, all right, number 2 is, and this one's, We'll be curious to hear your response to this, just because, again, I'm from Jacksonville. This was my hometown. And Jacksonville has been central to your foundation's work. What makes this city such a great place for your youth foundation to thrive?
I came here to Jacksonville right after my sophomore year at the University of Michigan, and I started playing and training and fell in love with the community, fell in love with the beaches, certainly. This is where I have raised my wife, or my mind's just, I can't get the words out now. This is where we have raised our son. Sweetie, I did not raise you. I'm just putting that on the record. This is where we have raised our son and daughter. But when you have an opportunity to be on the tennis court with a youth, and you see in their eyes that a few words of encouragement can really propel them. And Dana, it really comes down to the people, because we were able to gather a group of not just hundreds, but of thousands of people, including everyone here, who have gotten behind the mission and said, it's humbling for me to know that there are people who believe in what I and we are doing and want to be a part of that. So, as I said, it's our job to honor that effort and that belief in us by continuing to work every single day to grow our programs and really to show the results. But these young people right here, I mean, these are some of the best, not just here in the foundation. Right. These are some of the best in all of Jacksonville. Yeah.
I loved reading about that you then completed your education at UNF.
Yes, that was a goal that I set.
I'm not a stalker. Just, doing my research.
Yeah, you've come up with a couple of statistics. I'm thinking, where did that come from? But my college coach, Brian Eisner, when I was about to leave the University of Michigan, said, Mal, if I thought you were ready, I'd tell you. And he didn't tell me. He wanted me to stay for my third year. But I told him, and I told my parents that I would eventually get a degree, and it took, I guess, another 20 or so years. But I went back to the University of North Florida to get a degree in finance. I was always the oldest one in my class. I was the old guy sitting in the front of the class actually paying attention, looking around wondering, why are all these kids texting? Why are they on their phones? Pay attention.
No, I did. And when you're talking about Jacksonville, to me, when I very first came to this facility to see it, I actually was meeting with Terry because I wasn't sure about the role of being president of USTA Florida, and I came and met with her because I wanted her sage advice of what she thought. She said, run for the hills. But no, I mean, and that's the relationship that I have with Terry. But what struck me was we, as Jacksonville, need to put and continue to put a spotlight on this foundation. And I truly am wearing that like a badge, and I do. Everyone here, that in other words, in my mind, there shouldn't be anyone in the city who doesn't know about this foundation. So I feel like that's where we can continue to improve to help this foundation. The last question is, you've shared a little bit of this you've spoken about the joy of attending college graduations and seeing the success of students from the foundation. How does it feel to know that the foundation has played such a big role in shaping their future's outcomes? And I guess what I'll also touch on, it's not just that one person. It's that one person and then their family and then their family. I mean, to me, again, that speaks volumes. That's something I think we should be shouting from the mountaintops about how this foundation can change lives.
I think there's the ability to have exponential growth. And when I say that, what I mean, we're impacting 250 kids right now in our after-school program. But when they grow up to become adults, like Mark, and Mark's married and has his own kids, or Nichelle, who has her daughter, who's second generation in the foundation right now, you realize, yeah, you're having an impact directly on individuals, but that exponential impact that our students will have on their kids and their family and the people in their neighborhoods, to me, that's pretty special, because we can only do so much as a single organization. But when they go out into the community and start doing that, there was a young lady who, in the public school system in Atlanta, was named Mentor of the Year, and she talked about how having a mentor here at the foundation was so impactful for her. She wanted to go on and do the same thing. So that exponential growth is kind of what I like to talk about sometimes, and it's also about longevity. How many decades can we be here in the community? But aside from that, let me just pivot, if I could, and
you have the microphone.
And as you know, I don't mind using a microphone. But to the USTA Florida section, some of you know, some of you don't know, but earlier today, we were on the campus of Edward Waters University. And this is about the impact that you were having. And Mark started as a 6th grader in my youth foundation. He is now, and he walked onto the Florida A&M tennis team, grew to love the sport, and now he is impacting not only his own kids, but college students as head coach of Edward Waters University. And they were awarded today a gift from USTA Florida for $100,000 to grow their program. And this is just the second year of your program, correct? And so, and Dana, the reason I say that is I want you to know, and I want Laura to know that that gift and the impact that you're having on Edward Waters 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, you'll be able to look back and say, we were a part of the early stages of starting a program at Edward Waters University. To me, it doesn't get any, I got goosebumps again. To me, it doesn't get any better than that, to know that decades from now, you can drive by Edward Waters and say, we were a part of that.
No, I really appreciate that, and it was a very special morning, and we were so excited about this whole day. I mean, I came up from Tampa, and that guy Milton's coming in town, and, you know, I'm going to run the other way. But, and again, thank you for, and Mal was there with us this morning as well, which was so special, and Mark, you know, you're going to be going like gangbusters. Well, that actually concludes the program, and again, Mal, welcome to the Hall of Fame. I want to invite everybody to please, if you haven't had a chance, do walk around some of the facilities. Ask some of these players and participants, you know, what they've gotten out of the program. And I wanted to share, I don't know where this quote came from, but I heard it at my best friend's summit last year, and she doesn't know where it came from either, but it makes me think about your foundation and what education can do. And the quote was, "Nothing solves everything, but education comes pretty close." And when you think about it, in our lives in general, educating ourselves about the other person, it can be the X's and O's, but education is so crucial and can make such a significant change. So again, Terry, Mal, thank you so much. Thank you for letting us celebrate our 4th regional stop. Next stop's Tallahassee. If anybody wants to come, we're taking on the government. Yeah. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming, and we really appreciate it. And again, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you being here.
Did you ever have a party